Your indoor cat lies on the couch all day. They're not moving much. They seem content. You think she's fine. Cats are supposed to sleep a lot. But what if what you're interpreting as contentment is actually depression? What if your cat isn't resting peacefully? They're slowly dying of boredom. And by the time you recognize what's happening, behavioral and health problems have already taken root. Most owners miss the early warning signs of feline boredom entirely. They don't see them until their cat has developed destructive behaviors, anxiety, weight problems, or cognitive decline that's much harder to reverse. Today on CreatureCode, we're exploring 7 boredom signs that sneak up silently. Signs so subtle that most owners completely miss them until it's too late. And once you know what to look for, you'll realize your cat has been telling you they're bored for weeks. Opening question. Have you ever noticed your cat just staring? Not at anything in particular, just staring into space. Eyes open, body still, completely unresponsive to movement around them. Most owners see this and think, oh, she's relaxing, she's meditating, she's fine. But what if that stare is actually a sign that your cat's brain has disengaged from their environment? Psychology/why it matters. A healthy cat's brain is constantly scanning. They're noticing environmental details. They're tracking movement. They're assessing. Their eyes are active. Their attention shifts. Their brain is engaged. But a bored cat's brain doesn't bother scanning anymore. Why waste cognitive energy analyzing an environment that never offers stimulation? So they zone out. They disengage. Their eyes become vacant. This isn't relaxation. This is cognitive shutdown. Your cat's brain is essentially saying, there's nothing interesting here. I'm turning off. And here's what's scary. The longer your cat stays in this disengaged state, the harder it becomes for them to re-engage. Their brain gets used to the shutdown. It becomes the default. The Science Credibility, a 2019 study from neuroscientists examining feline cognitive engagement, found something striking. They measured brain activity using EEG patterns in cats in various environments. Cats in stimulating environments showed consistent, robust brain activity. Cats in boring environments showed progressively diminishing brain activity. The most concerning finding: cats that spent extended periods in unstimulating environments showed reduced baseline brain activity, even when stimulation was later introduced. Their brains had habituated to low engagement. Researchers called this learned disengagement. The brain learns that engagement isn't worth the effort because nothing interesting ever happens. Owner mistake identification. Most owners interpret the 1,000-yard stare as peaceful. They think their cat is happy and relaxed. They don't realize it's a warning sign that their cat's brain is shutting down. The owners whose cats remain cognitively sharp are the ones who notice the stare and think, wait, that's not normal engagement. They respond by increasing environmental stimulation. Solution: actionable when you notice the 1,000-yard stare. Interrupt it. Not forcefully. Introduce novel stimulation. Move a toy in their visual field. Open a window so they can see outside. Introduce a new object. Turn on bird videos designed for cats. The goal is to interrupt the disengagement and remind their brain there are interesting things to engage with. Start with 10 to 15 minutes of stimulation daily, specifically designed to break these staring episodes. Your cat's brain will begin re-engaging if given consistent opportunity. Track the staring. If it decreases as you add stimulation, you've caught the boredom early. If it continues despite stimulation, you need more intensive intervention. The payoff: when you interrupt the 1,000-yard stare and provide stimulation, your cat's eyes come back to life. Literally, they start tracking movement again. Their attention becomes active. Their brain re-engages with their environment. This shift is your signal that you've prevented cognitive decline. Opening question. Cats sleep a lot. That's normal. 12 to 16 hours per day is typical. But have you noticed that some cats exceed this? They're sleeping 18, 19, sometimes 20 hours per day. They wake up, eat, use the litter box, then immediately return to sleep. Most owners see this and think, my cat loves sleep. She's just a sleepy cat. But what if that excessive sleeping is actually your cat's escape mechanism from boredom? Psychology/why it matters. Sleep is restorative. But excessive sleep, beyond the cat's natural needs, isn't rest. It's escapism. Your cat's brain is choosing unconsciousness because consciousness is boring. They're not sleeping because they need to. They're sleeping because staying awake in a boring environment is unpleasant. This is a critical distinction. Sleep as rest looks different from sleep as escape. When a cat is truly rested, they wake up alert and engaged. When a cat is sleeping to escape boredom, they wake up lethargic and quickly return to sleep. The science, credibility, a 2020 study examined sleep patterns in cats with varying environmental enrichment. Researchers measured sleep duration, sleep quality, and wake time behavior patterns. They found striking differences. Cats in enriched environments slept 12 to 14 hours and showed deep, restorative sleep patterns, alert wakefulness with active engagement, rapid transitions between sleep and engagement. Cats in impoverished, boring environments slept 18 to 20 hours and showed fragmented sleep patterns with frequent micro-awakenings, lethargic wakefulness with minimal engagement, difficulty transitioning to active states. The breakthrough. When enrichment was added to boring environments, sleep duration decreased to normal levels while sleep quality improved. The cats weren't sleeping less because they were exhausted. They were sleeping less because they had things worth waking up for. Owner mistake identification. Most owners accept the excessive sleeping as normal. My cat just loves to sleep. They don't realize it's a symptom of boredom and potential depression. Owners who address boredom find that their excessively sleeping cats become noticeably more active and alert. Not because the cat's sleep capacity changed, because the cat had reasons to be awake. Solution: actionable. Track your cat's actual sleep duration, not the lazy estimates. Actually observe. Keep a log for a week. If your cat is sleeping more than 16 hours consistently, investigate environmental enrichment. Do they have interactive play daily? Environmental complexity, vertical spaces, hiding spots, novel stimulation, new toys, window access, problem-solving opportunities, puzzle feeders? Add enrichment strategically and track sleep changes. Within 1 to 2 weeks, normal sleep duration should return as your cat has more reasons to be awake. Monitor wakefulness quality. When your cat wakes, are they alert and engaged, or lethargic and returning to sleep? The distinction tells you whether the sleep is restorative or escapist. The payoff. When you provide enrichment and your cat's sleep normalizes, you're seeing evidence of cognitive engagement. The cat isn't sleeping away their life. They're sleeping appropriately because they have an interesting life to wake up to. Opening question. Your cat used to love a certain toy. They'd chase it enthusiastically. They'd pounce. They'd engage intensely. But now, they look at that same toy with complete indifference. It's like they've lost interest in play entirely. Most owners interpret this as, my cat has outgrown this toy. Time to buy a new one. But what if the real issue is that your cat has learned that nothing they do with toys matters anymore? Psychology/why it matters. There's something called learned helplessness in animal psychology. When an animal engages repeatedly with something and nothing changes, no reward, no outcome, no success, they eventually stop trying. They learn that effort is pointless. In the context of toys, a bored cat's brain makes a calculation. I chase this, but it doesn't lead to a catch. I pounce, but there's no kill. I engage, but there's no victory. So why bother? This isn't laziness. This is rational brain response to repeated failure to achieve the predatory sequence. The science, credibility, a 2021 study examined the relationship between play engagement and environmental outcome. Researchers observed cats playing with toys that either provided satisfying catches, cat wins, never allowed successful completion, cat never wins. Cats in Group 1 maintained consistent engagement and enthusiasm. Cats in Group 2 showed progressively decreasing engagement. By week 2, they were barely attempting play. When researchers then moved Group 2 cats to toys they could successfully catch, initial resistance occurred. The cats had learned helplessness. They didn't immediately trust that engagement could lead to success. However, with repeated experience of successful play outcomes, the learned helplessness reversed. Engagement returned. Owner mistake identification. Most owners assume disinterest in toys means the cat needs new toys, so they buy more toys. But if those new toys also don't provide satisfying play experiences, the cat just learns helplessness all over again. Owners whose cats remain interested in play are the ones who provide toys that allow successful completion of the hunting sequence. The cat stalks, chases, pounces, and catches. That completion is what maintains engagement. Solution: actionable. Evaluate your current toys. Do they allow your cat to achieve the hunting sequence? A toy that just sits there isn't satisfying. A toy that moves unpredictably but never allows catching is frustrating. Use wand toys. You control the prey behavior and determine success. Let your cat catch the toy. Let them feel victory. This experience reverses learned helplessness. Vary the toys to prevent habituation, but always ensure they allow successful hunting completion. If your cat has developed learned helplessness around play, reintroduction takes time. Be patient. Play 10 to 15 minutes daily with toys that allow success. Your cat's engagement will gradually return as they learn that effort does lead to reward. The payoff. When you provide toys that allow successful play completion, your cat's interest in play returns. You're not buying new toys. You're changing how play is structured to be rewarding. And your cat re-engages because engagement finally has a payoff. Opening question. Your cat starts destroying things. Scratching furniture aggressively. Knocking things off counters. Attacking your hands or feet randomly. Pouncing on you in ways that feel aggressive rather than playful. You think, my cat has behavior problems. She's aggressive. But what if every destructive behavior is your cat's frustrated scream? I need stimulation and you're not providing it. Psychology/why it matters. A bored cat's predatory system is still activated. The hunting instinct hasn't disappeared. It's just got nowhere to go. So it comes out sideways. Comes out as aggression toward furniture. Toward you. Toward anything that provides stimulation, even if it's destructive stimulation. Your cat isn't being naughty. Your cat is being desperate. They're literally trying to create the stimulation they're not getting from their environment. This is important. Destructive behavior from a bored cat isn't a behavior problem. It's a communication problem. Your cat is telling you they need more stimulation, but you're interpreting it as a behavior issue and punishing them. The science credibility. A 2022 study examined destructive behaviors in indoor cats and their relationship to environmental enrichment. Researchers compared cats in highly enriched environments, moderately enriched environments, impoverished, boring environments. Results were clear. Destructive behavior rates were inversely proportional to enrichment. More enrichment meant less destructive behavior. Less enrichment meant more destructive behavior. Most striking. When researchers added enrichment to impoverished environments, destructive behavior decreased dramatically within 2 to 3 weeks, without any behavior training or punishment. The conclusion. Destructive behavior stemming from boredom isn't fixed through punishment. It's fixed through enrichment. Owner mistake identification. Most owners see destructive behavior and try to punish it. They spray the cat, yell, lock them away. But punishment doesn't address the root cause, boredom. So the behavior continues. Owners who address destructive behavior through enrichment see it resolve naturally. Not through discipline. Through providing the stimulation their cat desperately needed. Solution. Actionable. If your cat is being destructive, your first response should be enrichment evaluation, not punishment. Add interactive play daily, 20 to 30 minutes, environmental complexity, cat trees, hiding spots, vertical spaces, novel stimulation, rotate toys, introduce new objects, problem-solving opportunities, puzzle feeders, window access for bird watching. Track destructive behavior as you add enrichment. Within 2 to 3 weeks, you should see significant decrease. This confirms the issue was boredom, not behavioral pathology. Continue enrichment permanently. This isn't temporary. Your cat needs ongoing stimulation to maintain behavioral health. The payoff. When you provide adequate enrichment, destructive behavior resolves without punishment or medication. Your cat isn't becoming better behaved. Your cat is having their needs met. And when predatory and mental stimulation needs are satisfied, destructive outlets become unnecessary. Opening question. Your cat's weight is increasing. You're not overfeeding. You check the portion sizes. The food quality is fine. But your cat keeps gaining weight. You assume, maybe she has a metabolic problem. Maybe it's a thyroid issue. But what if the real issue is that your cat's metabolism is literally shutting down from inactivity driven by boredom? Psychology/why it matters. Your cat's metabolism is directly tied to activity level. An active cat's metabolism runs hot. They burn calories constantly. Their digestive system is working. Their muscle mass maintains. But a bored cat who sleeps 18 hours a day, their metabolism slows dramatically. The body adapts to sedentary life by reducing energy expenditure. It's an evolutionary survival strategy. When there's nothing to do, conserve energy. So even with normal food intake, a sedentary cat gains weight, because their caloric needs are lower but their activity is lower. The math doesn't balance. The Science Credibility, a 2020 study examined weight gain patterns in indoor cats and their relationship to activity levels. Researchers tracked daily activity duration, feeding amounts, weight changes, metabolic markers findings. Cats sleeping less than 14 hours daily maintained healthy weight on normal portions. Cats sleeping 18+ hours gained weight on the same portions. The difference wasn't food quantity. It was activity level driving metabolic rate. When researchers increased environmental enrichment and activity in overweight cats eating normal portions, weight normalized. No diet change, just activity increase. Owner mistake identification. Most owners assume cat weight is about food, so they restrict diet. But a bored cat on a restricted diet is now both bored and hungry. The behavioral issues often worsen. Owners who address boredom find that activity naturally increases and weight normalizes without dietary restriction. Solution: actionable before restricting diet. Increase enrichment. Add interactive play. Increase environmental complexity. Provide stimulation. Track activity level. A cat getting adequate enrichment should be moving more, not dramatically but noticeably. Play sessions should show your cat being active for their duration. As activity increases naturally from enrichment, weight stabilizes. If after 4 to 6 weeks of significant enrichment weight isn't improving, then dietary adjustment might be needed. But often, enrichment is sufficient. The payoff. When you address the boredom driving inactivity, your cat becomes more active. Activity increases naturally. Metabolism increases. Weight normalizes. You haven't restricted food or stressed your cat. You've just given them reasons to move. Opening question. Your cat's grooming habits are changing. Either they're grooming less, their coat looks duller, matted, or they're grooming obsessively, focusing on one area repeatedly until the skin is irritated. Most owners assume this is medical. They take the cat to the vet. Tests come back normal. Then what? The vet might say it's stress-related and recommend medication. But what if the real issue is that your cat's mental state is so compromised by boredom that self-care is breaking down? Psychology/why it matters. Grooming, for a cat, is more than hygiene. It's a stress regulation behavior. It's a way they manage their nervous system. But grooming requires mental energy. A bored cat with a disengaged brain often stops bothering with grooming because the effort feels pointless. Alternatively, some bored cats develop obsessive grooming as an anxiety outlet. They lick and groom obsessively as a self-soothing mechanism for the psychological distress of boredom. Either way, grooming changes signal mental distress. The Science Credibility, a 2019 study examined grooming behavior changes in cats with varying enrichment levels. Cats in enriched environments maintained consistent, healthy grooming. Cats in boring environments showed either reduced grooming, coat deterioration, or obsessive grooming, leading to skin damage. When enrichment was added, grooming behavior normalized. Not through treating the symptom, through addressing the underlying boredom. Owner mistake identification. Most owners treat grooming changes as medical issues. But if medical workup is normal, the issue is likely behavioral, stemming from boredom. Owners who address enrichment find grooming normalizes without medication. Solution: actionable if your cat's grooming is changing and medical workup is normal. Consider enrichment. Add interactive play, environmental complexity, and stimulation. Monitor grooming over 2 to 3 weeks as enrichment increases. You should see coat quality improve and obsessive grooming decrease. If grooming doesn't improve with enrichment, then medical investigation is appropriate. But start with enrichment. The payoff. When you provide adequate enrichment, your cat's mental state stabilizes and grooming normalizes. Their coat becomes healthier. Obsessive behaviors decrease. You're addressing the root cause rather than treating symptoms. Opening question. Remember at the beginning, I mentioned something so subtle that most owners miss it completely until it's almost too late? This is it. And it's perhaps the most telling sign of all. Your cat no longer shows curiosity. New objects don't interest them. They don't investigate sounds. They don't react to movement. They've become indifferent to their environment. This isn't laziness. This is depression. Psychology/why it matters. Curiosity is a sign of cognitive health. A healthy cat is curious about their world. They investigate. They explore. They engage with novelty. This curiosity drive is what keeps their brain developing and their life feeling meaningful. But a chronically bored cat loses this drive. Why be curious if nothing ever changes? Why investigate if nothing interesting ever happens? The curiosity drive, which is essential to feline well-being, shuts down. And that shutdown is the moment when boredom has crossed into clinical depression. The science, credibility. A 2021 study examined curiosity behavior as a predictor of mental health in cats. Researchers found that cats with high curiosity showed robust mental and physical health. Cats with declining curiosity showed early signs of depression. Cats with absent curiosity showed clinical depression markers. The important finding: curiosity behavior is trainable. A cat with lost curiosity can regain it through consistent environmental enrichment and stimulation. Owner mistake identification. Most owners interpret the absence of curiosity as the cat's personality. She's just not interested in things. They don't realize it's a depression symptom. Owners who recognize this sign and provide intensive enrichment often see their cat's curiosity return. Suddenly they're investigating again. They're engaging with novelty. They're alert. Solution: actionable. If your cat shows absent curiosity, recognize this as a red flag. Your cat needs immediate enrichment intervention. Introduce frequent novelty. New toys, different sounds, window access, puzzle feeders, interactive play. The goal is to force engagement through constant novelty. With consistent stimulation, curiosity drive often returns. Your cat begins investigating again. They're more alert. They respond to environmental changes. This is your signal that the depression is lifting. The payoff: when your cat's curiosity returns, you know you've pulled them back from depression. They're interested in life again. They're engaged with their environment. They're mentally present. This transformation from indifference to curiosity is one of the most profound shifts you can create. If these boredom signs are already changing how you see your supposedly content cat, hit like and subscribe so we can share this with every owner who wants to recognize boredom before it becomes depression. On CreatureCode, we decode the subtle signs your cat is suffering in plain sight. Because understanding your cat isn't about luck. It's about recognizing that what looks like contentment might be resignation. Your indoor cat isn't meant to sleep their life away. They're meant to hunt, explore, engage, and grow. Every boredom sign we discussed is your cat communicating, "I need more life." Start today. One enrichment change. One interactive play session. One novel stimulus. Your cat is waiting to be brought back to life. Thanks for watching. And go interrupt that 1,000-yard stare right now. Your cat is counting on you to notice.